Hi everyone, welcome to another special episode of The Good, The Bad, The Ugly, and we have got something very different for you all. We got a lot of people here on screen, so let's get to it. We've got Echo, our renewed hope, is our special guest as always. How you doing? We've got the newly married Drac from On.
Hello.
Hello, what have you been up to, Drac?
I'm back from the reserves, married, new house, new setup. I'm back to roll some dice. This is
good to have you back on the Censors crew again. Okay, Madjo and Polly are with us as well.
Yo.
let's roll, baby. Episode 5.
Does anyone know what they have got themselves in for this time?
I fear that I have volunteered myself for something that it's gonna be awesome, right? Hanging out with buds.
We're doing something new. We've got a fight of his life to give Echo 3. We're not going to be rating normal cards as we would normally. Instead, Echo is going to be live creating some cards online right now with us. And then we're going to rate those cards in the server. So
no pressure. No pressure at all.
No pressure. And you know what? If they're ugly as dog shit, we're going to let you know, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the format is going to be where you're going to spin the wheel. The Wheel of Destiny is going to get a return to action with a bunch of card names that you've all submitted in the On the Censors Discord. And maybe your card's going to pop up. Loads of cards are in there. Hopefully you recognize one of your own. And one of us is going to go through and live design it with Echo. We're going to learn design what makes a good, bad, or ugly. So let's get to it. Let's bring the wheel up. And Madjo is going to be first of us to go through a card with Echo. Let's see how this goes, guys. This is a totally new thing.
Go ahead, Madjo.
A disaster.
Madjo, when you're ready, go ahead and touch your camera to spin the wheel.
Touch your camera.
Touch my camera. Yeah.
Boop. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Can I do that next time?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know about the magic.
Oh, this.
What do we got?
Card. Oh, is it Delusions of Grandeur?
No, it is not.
No.
Many
Bothans.
Many Bothans died to give us this intel.
Exactly. We've never had a card that references that. Now let's look at the format of the game. That could it be a support? Could it be an event? Could it be a character? Many Bothans. It could be
separately an event. I'm getting an event.
Well,
it's an intel.
Don't tell me, tell Madjo. He's the guy that's going to be going through it with you, and we will pitch in. Each one of us is going to take a turn kind of designing a card in tandem with you, Echo. So Madjo and Echo take us through, and then eventually we'll spin to the card builder, and then we'll see a card being created live. Okay,
Let's roll.
Take it away, guys.
All right.
Many Bothans. Let me just say one thing. So we know, Echo, that you like to start with designing a card first by its name. We also know, we've had you on many episodes because we think you've got a great mind for designing. So what better way to showcase that to the community and to put you in the hot seat? Let's see it live.
Okay, let's go.
Ready, Duncan?
Let's roll.
Bear in mind it's 1 a.m. in the morning over here. So
Many Bothans. So you like this as an event, huh?
yeah, I think it's like the full quote is many Bothans died to bring us this intel, these plans, or something like that. I can't remember what the exact quote is. So I think it's got to be a red event. It's what I think it's Mon Mothma says it. So your Mon Mothma on the artwork. It'll be an intel. So let's think what that intel will be. Intel is typically hand knowledge or deck knowledge. So let's go in that kind of direction with it. So let's look at the hand. Let's look at the deck or something. Where do you want it to go?
So many Bothans died to give us this information. So it needs to. There's quite a lot of weight behind that. It needs to be like, do we want it somehow? Right? So is it removal? Is it removing a die? Look at a hand. Yeah. Removing a die or some other utility effect. Also, why is it red?
I just think I'm on Mothma because Mothma says it, so it just feels like it's it's hero, it's red. Mon Mothma's saying it. She's we released her in the last set Resurgence.
Look at that. You say it. You have made it so.
I wasn't watching. Sweet.
Many Bothans.
Many Bothans. So let's do this. So subtype Intel. God.
It seems like it would involve hand information of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to involve tests and it needs to involve spies.
Spies, yeah. We've kind of phased spies out of the game at the minute. But yeah.
So here's a question for you. When it comes to hand information, because we all know that card advantage is very good in any game that we play. What price do you put on card advantage?
Card draw is or hand knowledge. Hand knowledge is quite high. Funny enough, hand knowledge is more of a red villain. Like your probes, counter intels, and all of the I'm hitting old cards with what I'm listing.
Yeah.
There's not many hero cards that will get you into the hand. In Seeking Answers, there was one. There was a neutral event. I think it was Name the System. I can't really remember. But that was that was put in neutral to trigger Callus as like a Callus card. So this, if we, he hasn't had too much support, so we can design with him in mind with his passive trigger. So when designing events, we always have to think who does this work? Who does it work with? Who will trigger? What characters will benefit? Which characters will really want to run it? If it's not too generic and it's more kind of specific to a character. We were kind of touching. It's a Mon Mothma quote. What does she do again? Hang on.
I've got it. I've got the perfect design.
Hit me.
Discard your hand to defeat an opponent's character.
Bam.
What?
Discard.
12 cost.
Yeah. It needs to have a certain amount of sacrifice to
Never let
because that's
Is that right? That's what I'm saying.
Reach.
Alert. You could defeat one of your characters to discard their hand. Flip it around.
Go. See, Drax got the right idea. Iteration.
I've got an idea. Maybe it's exhaust the support you control to reveal that many from the opponent's hand equal to the cost. Mind you, they sacrifice themselves. So yeah.
Exhausting their support plus looking at their hand.
Yeah.
Wait, would you exhaust their support or yours?
You could leave it ambiguous. Just exhaust a support to. So it could be yours or an opponent's. Because it'd be a dead card if your opponent's not running support.
Yeah.
So
sure.
you could pack something in yours.
I like it.
Well, I know this is difficult. We know this is difficult, Echo, but let's. And these are not going to be.
Am I out of time? We're done?
No, you're not out of time. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to actually prod Maju a little bit to. Let's see what else we got here. Sauces.
It definitely doesn't.
You put the pressure on Marja, and it's so hard.
Yeah, it is. It definitely shouldn't cost 2. That's for sure, right? Exhaust the support. What, to reveal? We said reveal cards in an opponent hand equal to the cost of the support. We're simply revealing them, or what are we doing with them?
What about something like spot a red leader to discard cards from an opponent's hand equal to the amount of characters you can spot who have damage or something like that.
Say that again, Echo. Let's go to that. Spawn a red leader to
discard cards from an opponent's hand equal to the amount of characters you have.
Number of damage characters.
Damage characters.
I know what I should have done. I should have found a way to make many Bothan's blue villain, and you'd have had me. You'd have had me.
Yeah.
I'd have been rolling, man.
So what was the spot a red leader to discard cards from an opponent's hand equal to?
Damaged characters you can spot.
Yeah.
I just kind of like see it as a bit of a, it's a mill card. There's a lot of indirect, there's a lot of indirect sides. I've tried to put more indirect onto dice in the last few sets. The resolution of, you kind of spread it out. So, if you're running a 3-wide and you've spread that out with this, you're going to take 3 cards. That's pretty spicy.
But I think this is a 0 cost or a 1 cost.
Probably 1, right? I don't think that can be 0
I think
with the ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling's high, so I'd say 1.
Yeah.
I like that. There we go.
I think we could
Either
first
put a cap on it as well. I suppose you could put to a maximum of 4 or something. I can see it's an 8-wide Jawa deck. And...
Well,
You're not playing red. I don't know that you're playing red here with an 8-white jump.
well,
because you have to spot a red leader. That will keep it in check.
It's got its own cap anyway because it's opponent's hand, so it's probably going to max out at 5 if you play it first round of a new turn. So, is that the card? Are we stamping that one then?
I'm stamping. I'll stamp it. I'm stamping if you're stamping.
I like it, man. I really do.
All right, so let's talk it through from a gameplay perspective. You remember close quarters assault was really prevalent until it rotated in FFG metas. It was brutal, just like stripping the hand. So you could play this in a mill deck because you are subsequently obviously going to be taking damage. I just think there might be a bit of utility to just kind of swipe cards from the opponent's hand anyway. So you might just kind of pack it anyway.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're playing a support deck, you're more than likely 3-wide.
Yeah.
You want to strip their removal. I mean, this card is super strong, in my opinion.
It's still situational because it's equal to the amount of damage characters you have.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you draw turn 1, it's dead. You're probably pitching this to reroll.
Yeah, exactly. But you find it mid game. It's not an amazing card, but it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah,
It's good, bad, or ugly. Good, bad, or ugly.
That's not up to us.
It's not up to us. Okay. All right. Well, I would say we can move on to. Let's park that and then move on.
Cheers, Echo. That was fun, man.
Okay. Well, that's that. Next one. Let's get on to card number 2, which another card, and I will be going through this with Echo. Echo, you said you wanted to touch the screen to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, man.
Spin the wheel. Oh,
That is so good.
works so well.
How does
the
Polly
light-
do these things?
One of the highlight of my Destiny career.
What's it gonna be?
No. Oh, escape now, hug later.
Escape now, hug later. That is blue villain if I've ever heard something before.
I think that's from The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a sequel trilogy quote.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Wow.
Is that on?
Because nah, we don't talk about
I
that.
don't know it. I don't know the quote.
You can let's spin the wheel again then. Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah.
I
You gotta touch it again.
yeah, I think it was Finn.
Finn. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah.
That's a Finn
It
thing
was
to say.
Finn. It was Finn, yeah. And it's
Ah, that's a good one.
always a bigger fish.
Maybe. There.
Yeah.
I like that. Who's that? Qui-Gon, right?
Always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish.
Right? Was that Bassmaster? I don't know. Somebody sent that in as a
Oh, I thought this was from Finding Nemo. Oh, my bad.
This is Qui-Gon in Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When they're swimming through the seas of Gungan.
Yeah.
And then one. And
You know what? Speaking of Gungans, we need some Gungans back, man. We need them.
Well, I believe there's a Darth Jar Jar on that wheel, so
Oh, okay.
Maybe that becomes a maybe this in the grand scheme of things, Duncan. While you're talking to Echo about it, becomes some sort of Gungan event or support type of situation.
Maybe. It's a nice line. I mean, I guess the theme of it is that no matter how big you think something is, there's always something that's going to be able to devour it, you know?
Indeed.
Duncan, I think we should play around with characters' point costs with this. So if there's a bigger fish, there's a big character. And I don't know if we could have this revolving around a smaller character or a big character. So it could like play on points costs of characters.
Okay.
Like Fury, spot character that has 17 or more points to remove a dice. So why don't I think as a base for our card design, let's start there. So I think it's an event.
Well, let's animate through to the card builder then. We will see how we go. So an event, right? What colour are you thinking? I think it was Qui-Gon that said that to Obi-Wan. Don't know whether that
got it. Yeah, we go blue. Let's go blue hero with it.
Yeah, because it could be neutral. I mean, it could.
That is an interesting point, though. Like, just because it was said by a blue hero, I guess it just goes back to the theme. Like, you started off by saying the meaning of this as in a general way, right? So I don't know. Do you have to stay locked to blue? Maybe not. But yeah, you guys roll with it.
Okay, so we are.
It could be something like if you control the character with the highest points, roll one of its character dice into the pool, or if you do not control the character with the highest points, remove an opponent's character die.
Ooh, I love dual. I love multi-mode cards.
So, okay, say that again then. So you're looking at a larger.
So if you control the character with the most points, roll one of its die into your pool. If an opponent controls the character with the highest points, remove one of that character's dice.
Oh, so it's a dual aspect thing. You've got two options.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Either you are the bigger fish, or there is always a bigger fish.
There you go.
Yeah. That's pretty simple. That was a lot easier than many.
Nailed it.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Wow.
I thought
That's a rain dodge right there. Like, Ollie dropped the box of 10,000 toothpicks, and Echo looks on the ground and can immediately say how many there are have fallen. What is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
That's a one cost event, I'd say.
A one cost event. Okay, let me change that here. So, it's one cost event, and it's going to cost one. Always a bigger fish. Blue hero event.
Should we do another one because that was quite quick?
Sure. Yeah. I tell you what. Let's write this out, and then we can create. We've got it here, and then
Let's try and figure it out.
I hear Liam Neeson's voice in my head saying
always a bigger fish. Always a bigger fish.
If you control the character with the highest points cost, I suppose. Points value.
Yeah, I don't know what the language is. Value or
If you control the character with the highest points value, roll one of its character die into your pool.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Jack. Say that again. If you
control the character with the highest points value, roll one of its character die into your pool.
Or
if you do not control the character with the highest points value, do the opposite.
No, you would say, or if an opponent controls the character with the highest points value, remove one of its character dice.
pretty slick.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. You might have to count characters on that and just make sure it's not going to.
You want to break Echo's own rule here, Kobe. That would be a faux pas. If you control the character with the highest points value, feels like it needs something after, it means a comma after value. Roll its character die into your pool. If an opponent controls...
Roll 1.
Roll 1. Roll 1. Yeah. More characters. One of its character dice into the pool. If an opponent controls a character with the highest fringe value, remove one of its character dice. That's pretty good. That feels like it costs 1. That's, 1 for 1 removal, or...
The only problem with it is what if both of you control the highest points value?
If you both control the same value, then...
Yeah. This is the only destiny thing that goes a bit weird. But you put in or, and I guess you get to decide, maybe.
Or you could say choose one of the following, right?
Let's add more words to the card.
That's more words. Yeah, that's not.
I would say just leave it at that in terms of the initial design process, right?
Yeah. I think the intent here is certainly not to like perfect the syntax on the fly. Like that, you nailed it, dude. Like I say, let's move on. That's awesome.
That looks good.
Yeah, I don't do syntax. I come up with the idea. I message Echo 7 and I say, "How do I word this?"
There you go.
and then he words it and sends it back to me, and that's how it works.
Echo 7 coming.
Yeah. Send him a message now. Send him a message. Yeah. Hang on.
Super DK could actually knock that one out as well, I bet. Both of those guys, man. So super smart.
So Duncan, you want to do another one? You want me to flip it back over so you guys can choose another wheel?
Yeah, go on. Let's do that. We're happy with that, I think, aren't we? Spin the wheel. Okay. We'll take upward strain. I just put that in at the last minute because
Darth Jar Jar got past. Source Bandim got past us too.
Source Bandim.
Here we go. Delusions of Grandeur. And Sorno said that, didn't he? In Jabba's palace, I think he said, "I go away for a while and everyone gets delusions of grandeur." I think something like that. Okay, delusions of grandeur. Now that could be a wide range of. That could be a wide range.
I've googled it as a quote.
Yeah.
And Han does say, he says, "You don't know how to fix the hyperdrive. Chewbacca can do it. I'm standing here in pieces and you're having delusions of grandeur."
Oh.
Very nice.
I don't remember that.
Delusions of grandeur. Does this kind of go hand in hand with death sticks? Like you're off in some hyper-realistic space? I don't know.
Death sticks. I did like that card.
Oh,
cool.
Well, let's transition through to the card builder and then Delusions of Grandeur. Now, I feel like...
Yeah, what do you think, Duncan? What do you think this would be?
Delusions of Grandeur. I think it'd be nice to make a plot. A plot. The when you exhaust it, Delusions of Grandeur, so maybe something on the board state temporarily better than it is. So Delusions of Grandeur, it doesn't give a buff. You exhaust the plot and then it maybe makes something on the board better for that turn or for that action or something like that.
Just like, so it could be like something simple, just resolve one of your, exhaust this plot to resolve one of your character dice, increasing its value by 1. Super simple.
And it was actually said by 2 people in Star Wars. Said twice. It's said by Han, but it's also said by C-3PO, apparently.
Oh, very interesting.
How was it? It's CPPO one I'm thinking of, in Jabba's palace.
C-3PO says he's almost in pieces, delusion of grandeur, and then Han comes in and he says, I'm out of it. A Jedi Knight, I'm out of it for a little while and everyone gets delusions of grandeur. So they basically say the same thing.
It's essentially
Just the style.
So what if... So when I hear delusions of grandeur, I'm thinking somebody's head's in the clouds, thinking it's better than it actually might be. So I like the plot idea. What if it was a plot where we have the lightsaber ignition, where it's a blue, you reroll sticks, and if they roll something, you get to resolve increasing its value, right? What if it was something like that, but with like yellow upgrade dice?
See that? I mean, it fits the theme of making something temporarily better. Absolutely.
I feel like it can be a grey card to fit in every kind of deck, personally.
Maybe it only affected droid dice.
Yeah?
I don't know that we have enough droids for that to be playable.
I don't know.
Comes out in the droid set.
I like it being gray though, Duncan, because it's like everybody's at the end of the day, we're all human, right? We all think we're sometimes better than we really are. We're all subject to
positions of grandeur.
Yeah.
That's not how the Force works, Majo.
I'd quite like
how the Force works.
I'd quite like this to be, rather than exhaust it, I'd like it to be a one-shot thing. So it's quite powerful. So you set aside this plot to do something. So, you know, it's got a bit more beefier thing than exhaust it to increase one dice by one. It'd be quite nice if side maybe you increased all of your dice by one, but it was a really expensive plot or something like that. What do you think, Echo? Something that's quite powerful, maybe a 3-cost plot that is, you know, like relentless advance, like plan your turn around that. It'd be quite nice.
So action. Set this plot aside to play a set-aside copy of All In.
What in the world?
You know, I like that. I think that's one that we'll need Echo to pipe in on.
Okay, so I'm gonna take all of your ideas minus Marjo's all-in idea because such a bonkers card all in. Anyway, so what we're saying is grey neutral, relatively expensive plot. We're all set on increasing this one-off higher power and greatness, superiority kind of feeling of the grandeur.
Yeah.
So it could be simple. It could be set this plot aside to resolve. What's the best way to word this? Each of your elite character. No. Oh God. Basically, choose a character, resolve each of its dice, increasing its value by 1. Done.
Yeah, each of his character dice.
What?
Yeah,
just one character though.
Just one character. So just that. Yeah. So and resolve in whatever order you want. Just that one character. Set the plot aside and resolve that character's character dice, increasing each of their values on 1. Resolve them in any order of your choice.
Yeah, I love that. I love cards that can just sit there until the most optimal time to play them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be sat on a focus and a blank. You trigger it. Your 1 focus will become a 2. You flash around to a 2. Gun.
Yeah.
Becomes a 3. You've also focused something. You can't resolve the other thing, but you kind of.
Ironically, what you've done, Echo, is you've done a plot that's basically all in.
No, I haven't, man. It's only 2 dice.
Well, only 2 dice, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Nowadays, you've got Mandalorian, you've got the Sun, 3 dice characters. It's pretty cool with them as well.
Yeah,
Ray, absolutely.
How much does this cost then? Now, take us through a little bit how you cost a plot when you make this decision. Like, how much is this going to cost us?
We got extra firepower, which has a similar effect, right?
I was just about to say that. How many dice does that let you do? 2 dice? 2. Now that cost 3 costs. I think that's a 3 cost. Yeah. So that and that's any of your dice. You're not limited to a character dice. So because of the restriction, I'd say it should cost 2 rather than 3.
Yeah, nice. There you go.
I think 2's pretty strong, I'll be honest, but I think 2's a good starting point after doing some testing it, man.
Yeah. You almost have to.
I'm thinking of the 2, the big 2, and even the 3 die characters that you can have.
Yeah.
Then again, the 3 die characters cost a lot of points, so there's not many characters you can play as a to them. And by playing this part for 2, you're really reducing, like with Mandalorian, your weaker character to be able to get that one turn.
To cover that, you just put up to 2 of a character's character dice. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, you put a ceiling on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We've done this before, Echo. That's boring. We want unlimited power.
We've been down this road. We know.
We have been down this road before, and
That's a good one, though. I like it. It's a nice plot.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done, guys.
yeah,
I love that the back-to-back, you guys are vibing, mind melding. Like, you both kind of took a step back and just sort of pondered for a minute. And it was like, what was the feeling of the card, right? And it just comes. Once you have that feeling.
Yeah, it's good.
just comes. I'm going to photo that and then build that later with the artwork. By the way, everyone, the artwork is temporary. When we post it in the Discord for you to have a look at, we'll get the correct artwork. There we go. Okay, let's.
This is so hard.
It is, but that was 2 good cards.
Very good, very good.
Let's go back and then we will take. Drac is going.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm thinking high cost. Whatever it is, I'm thinking big.
So we've had.
Two
Okay,
events
so
as well.
we had 2 events in the plot. Perfect. Yeah. Let's see what we get. Let's see what feeling we get this time.
Let's see
Jet?
what we get this time.
Who's tapping their screen on this one?
Oh, oh.
How'd you do that?
Or Discord, man. Discord's got some funny things going on with it these days.
What are we getting?
Such a good card for the whole. Such a good card for the whole player. So uncivilized.
I love this. I love this quote.
I mean, this is
Right.
What do you think, Drac? What's the first intentions off this? What's the first thoughts?
So it's the Grievous Obi thing, isn't it? Obi throwing away the blaster. So I'm thinking blue hero. I'm thinking it's going to have to do something to do with a weapon. It's going to have to, because that's what the quote's for. Nice picture of everyone chucking the blaster away. Not a move.
Right.
It's a bit weird for a move. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, you've nailed it already, aren't we? Just discarding a weapon from play.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I may be thinking about spotting guns, but I don't know if that's a bit too specific.
no, it's too specific to even say weapon.
Yeah.
But I'd go with weapon. Like,
Yeah.
spot a blue character to discard a weapon from play.
I think what could be kind of cool, because obviously Obi uses the gun before he discards it, so maybe something like 3 coster. This what? Roll a die and upgrade into your pool, resolve it, then discard the upgrade from play.
I can't remember the scene because I've only seen episodes 1, 2, 3 once because I thought they were like
Sure. He's hanging off the edge.
that's what I thought of them. So I can't really remember the scene. So talk me through the scene.
He's hanging off the edge, grabbing onto it. He's already ripped open Greaves' chest with his cyborgy heart and stuff.
Yeah,
Greaves has taken the saber off of him.
yeah.
He force pulls the gun into his hand, blasts his chest. Greaves' chest sets on fire. Force
Oh yeah.
He
Okay, yeah.
uncivilized and chucks it away. So he uses his blaster, then gets rid of it because it's gross. It's a blaster.
That's an important point. He does indeed use that blaster.
He does.
Well, you nailed it. So let's choose an opponent's weapon. Let's roll its die into the pool. Let's resolve it, and then let's get rid of it.
That sounds good to me.
Beautiful.
I like it.
I think that's 2 costs
That's a-
because it could miss.
Okay, don't go too quick now. Let me type this out. So, what's the wording going to be?
Right, now let's move on.
Where are we? Are we still at spot of a character to discard a weapon from play?
No.
Or no? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think you need a spot? Making it 3 costs, right?
If you add a spot requirement, if you add some more restrictions, then maybe you get away with it being a 2 cost instead of a 3.
Yeah.
Because 3 is just like you're not playing that for 3.
Yeah.
We're playing
You need a spot requirement on that.
for 3. Is it okay? All right. So take me through then. The card cost is going to be 3 or 2.
There's no way that's 3. It would never be played.
Well, you could do it 2 cost and spot a Jedi, maybe.
What do we think? Because if you're doing that for 2 cost, I mean, you're getting the bonus of resolving a die. So if you roll 2 damage, you're paying 1 for 2 damage.
But
So
as Echo said, there's 2 stipulations though. Not only is it you have to spot a Jedi, but it has to be a weapon. So it's not like you're doing a force choke or what are the other blue abilities module you play them all the time. Like those 4 cost things. It's not any ability.
Yeah, force.
Not anything like that. It's
Force
gotta be a
sense.
weapon.
okay, that would be quite cool if you had like a Luke Skywalker's lightsaber on Luke Skywalker, and
I can. Yeah.
and
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Duncan.
No, and you activated your own. If your opponent doesn't have weapons, let's say he's playing a support deck, and you have a Luke Skywalker's die, and it's the end of the turn, you could activate Luke and then resolve the die, and then play this card to get 1 more resolve as a and saloon type of thing to get the kill. Yeah, I like it.
Well, you could to get around that. Say it has to be an opponent's weapon.
Nah,
That way you.
nah. I like
I think it's
Duncan's. I like Duncan's flex. You know when you hit the end of round 4, and you and your opponent you both on 2 or 3 health left. Yeah, super close. And you kind of sat on quite a bit of money. You normally have like 4 or 5 resources just sat there because you don't really know what you're spending your money on by the time you get to that board state. And you could just be like, you have that in hand, and you like do exactly what Duncan says. You roll in an upgrade on your character, and you get rid of it because it might just pick the game.
Ah, yeah.
And it's one of those cards that if you didn't say that, it probably wouldn't get played. Because you
Exactly.
can't take the chance that their deck is going to have weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. My suggestion was going to be to say an opponent's weapon.
Yeah.
To then justify it being a 2 cost, right? Because then it's very restrictive at that point. But I have to agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I like
like
the
it.
3 cost version better. Nicely done.
Cool.
We'll see what the community thinks, though.
2 cost. So they're making that 2 cost, yeah.
Well, at the moment, 3 cost. But I said you're the designer. You tell us, man.
I'm thinking 2. Yeah.
I think
That's we are going with 2. Okay.
and it's so few people will pay 2 to get rid of their own upgrade.
Yep.
Like, that's absolutely niche. That is so niche. People won't do that unless it's the scenario I described.
Yep.
It was really bad in that regard. I don't actually think it would be a meta cool card. Like people aren't going to put that in all their blue deck. That will be depending what the meta is, if you're going to play that or not.
I agree.
Okay.
However,
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's good. Let's move on to Polly, and then who knows? See round. Spin this wheel, and then design a card with Echo. Let's see how we go. The Force. Oh, that's it. What's it gonna land on? I'll see when that's one hell of a
Let's cross it over.
ooh, we get a character.
Character.
So, Echo, you're gonna have to help me with this one because I do not know this reference.
Hold on, I tell you what we'll do. I will live put up the. I'll put up the picture of him, and you'll see immediately.
He was the pilot in the cantina. He was just he's the cantina character. Yeah.
Wikipedia says he was force sensitive. Interesting.
I know nothing of his story other than I just recognize him and his Star Wars CCG card. That's all I remember.
Nice.
Oh, Boshek, there he is. Okay, let's take a look at his card. I've already got the artwork for this one.
Boshek.
Polly.
This is a deep cut. Wow. Well, he's definitely going to be a character, and I think he needs to be yellow neutral because if I remember correctly, he was technically a spice runner, I think, at some point.
Nice. Spice Runner. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the original. He's in a New Hope.
If he's a Spice Runner, does that make him villain, or I guess like we said, life choices. We're not judging.
He's an Outer Rim. He's an Outer Rim pilot in the new Star Wars deck building game. He's the artwork that they use for the Outer Rim pilot card. He could technically be yellow or be gray then, I guess, in that case. If he's just kind of like this pilot for hire situation.
So yeah, Outer Rim is just kind of like scoundrelly. It doesn't necessarily mean villain.
True.
I think we've got his subtitle.
Yeah,
Pilot
your
for
title
hire.
right there. Yeah.
Pilot for hire. I like pilot for hire.
Pilot for hire.
Nice.
I agree. I agree with everything you've said so far. Like he's scoundrel subtype. You always think yellow. Definitely a neutral character. You're thinking of the deck builder game for his kind of grey neutral.
Right.
Could he be grey neutral?
I think he would be gray neutral because he doesn't really. Because let's see, in original New Hope, he was like this picture is from the scene when
He's talking. He's talking to Obi.
Yeah, when he picks up Luke and they're trying to find a pilot off the planet, right before they go talk to Han.
Yeah, it's the one that said, "Go over to Han, he'll help you out." Type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I remember his card from Star Wars CCG.
Sure.
And he boosted anything he pilots was what he did in the CCG.
Nice.
So, and there was, I think he like boasted that he beat Han's Kessel Run.
I don't know. So he's
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up his card.
I think.
Okay.
See, while he's looking up his card in CCG, I'm gonna throw out some basic dice sides here. If he is a pilot for hire, and he's more like a utility character, I don't think he's gonna have a lot of health. And I think his dice are going to have, and this is probably going to be difficult for you, Duncan, because I don't know what that deck builder does. But I think he's going to have reroll sides and money sides for sure.
Oh, okay. Reroll.
No.
One.
No, you don't think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. Reroll is only on force sensitive.
Oh, okay. Right.
Is that like
Which won't let him put the reroll symbol on.
Yeah. He's got no reroll. He's got no reroll.
Let's not give him a reroll symbol. Let's ignore that.
We'll wreck on that.
He's a smuggler.
What are you thinking, Paul? You're thinking low. You thinking like his first sight is a 2-gun and everything else is non-damage, kind of like that?
I was thinking he was more utility, right? Because that was his point. His point wasn't he was a badass shooting people. He was more smuggling goods, getting resources out of places, like making a profit type of situation, like that type of situation. But I'm not.
I mean, he's a pilot, though, isn't he? He is a pilot up in here. Does he have piloting? I guess that's the first thing we'd probably make a decision on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm a see.
Well, he's a smuggler. So let's dig into what smuggling looks like in Destiny. What do you guys think smuggling could look like in Destiny? Let's throw that one out there. How would you depict smuggling in Destiny?
Well, it's
Stealing resources.
the resource generator. Maybe they swap resources for things so they can gain or lose resources based on, they might be able to use the resources to, I don't know, draw cards, draw items from their draw pile.
Can we bear with me? Can we add a power action where the power action is literally the Canto by Casino?
What does that one do?
Pay a resource, you roll 2 dice. If they roll the same symbol, you gain a resource. If they roll the same symbol and value, you gain 2 resources.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
Nice one, dude.
So he's a resource generator then.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. If he's smuggling, he's definitely like it has to revolve around money. Yeah.
He's bringing in them credits.
Pay 1 resource, re-roll 2 dice. If both those dice roll the same symbol, gain 1 resource. If they roll the same symbol and value, gain 2 resources.
Hold on. That's too quick. Pay 1 resource to reroll a dice.
2 dice.
2 dice, okay? And then what?
Should it be two resource return or 1 resource return? It's just
Well, you're
one,
spending 1.
Yeah, you're spending 1.
Yeah, you're spending 1, so you have to. Yeah, it'll have to be 2 if they're then showing the same value.
2 and 3 or 1 and 2.
I think it's 2 and 3, isn't it?
Well, what does
It would have to be because you're spending 1.
I can't remember. I just remember that I used to play it and I used to hate it because I never rolled the same symbols.
Spend 1 to reroll 2 die. If it's showing the same symbol, you get 2 cash. If it's showing the same value, you get 3, I think. All by
Yeah, because you have to net 1 or net 2.
Yeah, because it's casino. So if they're
Nice.
showing the same symbol, gain 2. If they're showing the same symbol and value, gain 3.
Okay. If they are showing...
You can have a bit of fun with that. You got a little bit. We were talking. Exactly, soft mitigation. We were talking about force sensitive characters reroll stuff with the reroll symbol. But we're not giving him a reroll symbol, but we're allowing him to reroll stuff.
There you go.
We need some dice sides now. He's only 9/11, so will be comparatively weak. Is he 9/11? Sorry, that's... Let's do dice sides and then card costs.
Let's do dice. I think dice sides are going to affect the costs and even the
So,
health, I think.
I know, Paulie, you've said the word, utility a lot, and I know that's what your heart wants here. So when I hear that, I feel like he could still maybe have 1 damage side, like a 2 guy.
No, he needs
Right, and then everything else is utility.
Yeah, I think he needs to have 2 gun, 1 indirect, 1 money, 2 money for $1, blank.
Hold on, go through that slower then. So first dice side will be 2 ranged.
2 ranged, 1 indirect, 1 money, 2 money for $1. I know, I'm very fast. I'm sorry. I'm thinking I'm just taking on the fly.
2 ranged, 1 indirect. Yeah.
2 money for $1. Blank.
So you still want him to be like really low health, low cost, huh?
I just because I like trying to shove as many characters on the board as possible. I think maybe 9 health maybe fits the bill a little bit more.
Where are we? What do we think, Echo? What's your opinion here?
For that die and that ability, are we giving him 9 health? I reckon you could get away with a 9 and 11 for him.
Yeah.
9/11. I mean,
Quite interesting, actually. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the 1 indirect, but I guess that's the point.
Right.
it's almost like another blank, isn't it?
I mean, if you look at it another way, like if he was 8/10, he's really good.
So yeah,
I feel like the 1 indirect could maybe be a disrupt because he's a smuggler. So, he's kind of also affecting your opponent's resources as well as your own, Would that be more thematic? What do we think?
I like that.
Then you could maybe play him with, if he's a pilot, you got, disrupt sides as well, and you're really trying to...
I could see it.
Mess
I could see it being a disrupt. Yeah, I could see it being a disrupt.
Yeah? Let's do that then.
the only thing with him is him next to what's the Trandoshan Rebel Yellow? Is what's actually called Rebel Pilot?
No, it's called the Rebel Smuggler. So this is why I asked you guys the question, like, what does smuggling look like in Destiny? So I designed the Rebel Smuggler in Unlikely Heroes, and it was kind of like the idea I had for that card. So he gains a resource the first time you resolve the vehicle he's piloting. So that was kind of like so that was him successfully dropping off his cargo or getting paid. Exactly that. So that's what I was trying to do with the smuggling there.
Because him next to that guy, I don't think you'd ever choose this character next to that rebel smuggler.
No, you wouldn't.
Better die, better ability, brings yellow. Same
Exactly.
points.
But then 8-10, this is too good. So we have to find somewhere in the middle. Something. So if he's 8-10, what do you do with his health? What would you do with his health, J-Rock?
I don't think I'd touch the health. I think I'd probably make the dice a bit garbager, to be honest. I know it's pretty trashy at the minute. I think I'd bring dice down because the ability is too hard to touch.
So
I think the ability is not actually that good.
There's
Yeah.
no consistency. It's, you're spending your resources to do something.
Funnily enough, if he's elite, his best choice is his own die, and you call resources or blanks.
right,
Yeah, and so I think on that note,
Right.
I actually think saying his ability is not that good is actually, in my opinion, is wrong. Because
I don't
think about the deck builders out there. They will find a way to make it consistent.
It's not very smuggly. That's more gambling.
Okay, that's fair. I got you.
Well, he's water.
very true.
Really water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for gambling,
yeah.
okay. Okay, I can see that
Yeah.
because it is whatever. It was just creating resources off the fly. I think I was thinking.
yeah.
about.
You envisioned him rolling up into a casino, right? You know, high roller. This guy, he's a scoundrel.
How about a passive? Because he's a smuggler. His cargo and his money is kind of hidden. Why don't we, opponent, opponent can't disrupt more than a certain amount of your resources. So just a passive.
Okay. How about remove the power action? What if we just said it like this? Because we already have cards that say, well, this dies in the pool, not more than one of whatever it can be, whatever. So since he's a pilot, why don't we give him that type of a clause? While the die that has, I don't want to get bent on semantics on verbiage here. So while whatever vehicle he is piloting dies in the pool, you cannot be disrupted more than one per turn.
Your opponent can't disrupt you.
Or your opponent just can't disrupt. Something to that effect.
Sexy. I like that.
Super strong and different because we haven't had that before.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I know we already have kind of this templating on some other characters, so I didn't want to be exactly the same. Like you can't remove this person's die or whatever. But yeah, I think
It's cool, man.
if the die for the vehicle that this character is piloting, while the die for the vehicle that this character is piloting is in your pool, your opponent cannot disrupt resources.
Yeah, you'd say your opponent cannot resolve the dice showing a disrupt. Yeah,
I like that.
they can take money from other ways, but they can't resolve dice showing disrupt.
I like that. Still at 9, you think, with at 9-11?
Oh,
I mean, he's pushing it, right? Because we're competing with another space. We don't want to make him super strong.
I think he'll be fine.
I think he's good there. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
guys.
You're playing him to protect your other character, to protect your money. You're playing him in deck, looking to get a lot, and he's not going to allow your opponent to disrupt you, so you're protecting it. Yeah.
I'm playing him with yellow villain and putting him with Jabba.
And you'll make all the money in the world with those two resource sides.
You might even say his funds are quite resilient.
Okay, so
Do you know what? I look at the die and I don't like the one resource. I know we're just like, yes, we want a rampy character, but he's also protecting our money. But I feel like we should change that one resource. So his resource, he has one resource side, but it's a cost. Because I think his passive is really strong.
Okay.
sure. So let's
Go
go
back.
back resource right there.
We go back to 1 indirect, 1 disrupt.
Yeah, that sounds good.
One indirect, one disrupt. All right. Let's
Two indirect. Let's go two indirect.
Can we build it from the bottom up? Can we make side 6 2 gun, side 5 2 indirect, and no?
I'm sorry. What?
Never mind. Don't worry about me.
Just a hat when it comes to stickering.
Yeah.
Right. So we're 2 gun, 2 indirect, 1 disrupt, and 2 resources for $1.
Yeah.
Piloting. While this character's piloted vehicle dice is in your pool, your opponent may not resolve disrupt.
Dice.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh, let's put
check
on that. Okay.
That's cool.
I'm happy with it being grey, neutral, and it's now.
It's so strong having him being grey neutral.
I like it.
I'd venture to guess this guy might be paired with some musicians. You know, if I had to say.
Could be. He's flying around the little tones throughout the galaxy, charming the pants off of all the ladies.
Yeah. Oh man, nicely done.
Not any casting or anything. It's either awesome or garbage, but you just can't tell.
Yep.
That's good. We're going to take a photo of that. Cool.
That would be quite, rewarding. What a fun element of design, to design something and it'd be like generally well received, but then you don't know its true power until some like really strong player just completely capitalizes on every element of it. That's so cool.
That's how I feel every set release.
Yeah, you're like, and you still don't know what could come out of the woodwork, I'm not talking about broken stuff. I just mean like that person who finds the zen, that true intent, the true synergy.
I mean, has that happened a lot, Echo? Like, have there been cards that have hit differently from expectations? That like,
yeah.
Just, what would you say would be the sort of the biggest surprise and how it went to people?
Obviously, like playtesting. With playtesting, you get a good feel where a card is, but at the same time, the decks that people playtest aren't optimized because they're trying to cram as many of the new cards into that deck as possible to make their time useful. So there's always whatever the feedback is, you have to kind of not take with a pinch of salt. That's the wrong word. You have to implement kind of like a bit of a 20% leeway either way of whether or not, if they say it's too good, then yes, change it, reduce it. But if it's not quite good enough, there's such a fine balance on making it that little bit better. But like when it comes to like the set release parties and all of that, that's like a sleepless night for me. Well, the last few have been, whether or not something's going to come out. Even like Ray come out like absolutely bonkers, but I can tell you now, I faced Ray during playtest so many times, and I barely lost to Ray in playtest, but I was just on Hondo Vizsla and I was just absolutely destroying her. So it was this okay, right. Yeah, there's been loads of surprises that come out. There's loads of cards actually that haven't come out as strong as I thought they would actually. So there's been, like we were talking Mon Mothma earlier, like I really was on the fence about it, whether or not she should be 11-14 because her passive is nets you a resource, so a really strong character. And Bix Clean for reducing a mod by 1, like characters that effectively is a third die. That think of Mon Mothma, it's a third die and it's always a resource is one way to, but you can only spend it on a trooper or partisan. Those sort of cards are like really they get me worried. But then funny enough, like as I said, like no one's really played them, no one's broken them, and
well, that's it. Bullshit is our last card tonight. How many cards did we do? We probably did about 5 or 6 cards, 5 or 6 cards. Yeah. How did you find that? Echo, was it as stressful as you thought it would be?
Well, the first card was the hardest card. So like I was initially just like, deep end, and then but it was fun to talk over the process with you guys and like bounce ideas, because that's all it is. Normally I'm bouncing ideas around with Echo 7 over Discord or Messenger or WhatsApp, or however we talk. Last set I was bouncing a lot of ideas around with Taskmaster. So it's exactly how it works. We've just done it over camera, and we've just tried to do it in 5 minutes rather than 4 months.
Well done, man.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, to anybody that's watching this, you can at any time go in the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Discord and give us some card names for future episodes. If this goes down well, we're going to do another one. So with so we're looking for more names, and then we're going to put all of the cards that we've designed here with the proper artwork, put that in the channel, and please vote for whatever one you think. Feel free to rate it, good, bad, or ugly. It would be nice to see Echo 3 getting a few so you can maybe get your own back on him if he...
Yeah, wait, Duncan.
Yeah.
I've designed more than 300 ARH cards. People have their opinions already on my design. They don't need to give feedback on these 5 or 6 cards. Come on, man. Give feedback on those cards.
That sounds like a man that's been through some trauma already. So.
Yeah. Think I'm harsh. You should be me and read all of your comments on Discord.
Well, you've got extra people with skin in the game this time, so we'll be on the chopping block as well.
Yeah, we got your back, man.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this idea, I hope it was fun for you guys watching as it was for us making. We had a good time, and then we'll see you again on it. All right, cheers, guys. All right.